Hello everyone, I am Dr. Gunjan Saxena and I welcome you all in this class. Today I'll analyze Shelley's famous poem Ode to the West Wind. As it is a long poem of 70 lines, so without wasting the time, I start to explain it. In this first slide, you will find some important point about the poet, his birth, death year, his education, his published works, and so on. All these points are important, particularly for your MCQs, so note down them and learn them. In the next slide, I have mentioned some notable points about the poem. It was written in 1819, published in 1820. It is divided in 5 sections, which is called sonnet section, because each section consists of 14 lines following 4 tercet and a rhyming couplet. So keep these points in your mind for your examination and learn them. As far as its theme is concerned, Shelley's charm seems in autumn season more than the season of spring. Thematically, it can be divided into 2 parts. The first 3 sections are about the wind's effect upon land, air, and ocean. In the last 2 sections, the poet asks for the assistance of west wind just to be blessed with same dynamic energy which the west wind possesses at its extreme. In this way, the poem is known for its symbolic suggestiveness, for its gush and energy, and also for the message of hope and optimism. So now we start to analyze this poem in the light of Indian philosophy. That will be very interesting. We find the dexterity of Shelley in myth making. The poem begins with the speaker personifying the wind, addressing it directly. O wild west wind, thou breath of autumn's being, thou from whose unseen presence the leaves dead are driven. So west wind is blown in autumn season and it sounds a little but sinister. It is called sinister because of its dead things, ghost, exorcist, dead leaves, etc. The poet goes on to describe the dead leaves as yellow, black, and pale, and hectic red also, as if epidemic were the cause of numberless dead bodies. But the supreme power of west wind fills a kinetic energy to dead leaves. Here he mythifies the west wind into a veritable god, endowed with terrible powers to command everything. As it is said, Sabai Nachavat Rama Gosai. The same image is created here. He further clarifies the positive purpose of the wind behind blowing the zombie-like leaves here and there. It is spreading the seeds around so that they will grow in the springtime. They are like corpses in grave and will awake at the arrival of autumn's sister, spring. He summarizes his mythical concept by calling the wind destroyer and preserver. Here the wind symbolizes nature's twofold function of death and recreation also. It destroys the withered leaves and preserves the seeds. The intelligent system of ecology is generation, organization, and destruction. That becomes God, G-O-D, means Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. In the Gita, we find this sequence. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityo dhruvam janma mritasya va. In Christianity, on the contrary, symmetry is just opposite. If there is destruction, birth is sure. Shelley does not believe in God, but he accepts his existence by praising nature. Now in second stanza, the poet moves from the wind affecting leaves on land to the next action of affecting clouds in the sky. The clouds shook from the tangled bows of heaven and ocean. This probably refers to the fact that the line between the sky and the stormy sea is indistinguishable, and the whole space from the horizon to the zenith is covered with trailing storm clouds. You will find beautiful imagery also that the sky is like a river, wind is a stream, and the clouds are trees on the bank of the river. In the Gita, same concept is found. Urdhva Moolam Ardhashakam. He refers to the clouds as the angels of rain and lightning. The next image is of Millet. You'll find a multiplicity of images to show cloudy atmosphere here. Millet is a female worshipper of Bacchus, and it seems as if her cloudy hair are uplifted here and there. Then the wind is referred to as the dirge of dying year. It seems that the wind is singing a funeral song about the year which has come to an end, and the sky covered with a dome of clouds looks like a sepulchre. Sepulchre is a grave or burial chamber. This funeral procession of dead year is accompanied by vapors, rain, lightning, and hails. So these numerous images echo like a psalm in the praise of the wind for its power. Now in previous two sections, you have seen the effect of west wind on land and in the sky. Here in third canto, west wind affects water. The wind is able to produce illusion on the water because you notice that wind is playing the role of a creator. Bay's Bay, which is referred to here, and that is situated at the northern end of the Gulf of Naples, actually contains visible Roman ruins underwater, as they have been shifted due to earthquakes. Now in first and second cantos, Shelley had accepted death and changes in life, but here he turns to wistful reminiscences or recalls. He goes on to describe nature with idyllic picture and with sweetness, but suddenly he talks about fear. This again shows the influence of the west wind, which announces the change of the season. Here in the fourth section, the poet becomes subjective. He wishes to imbibe the effect of not one but all three suggested images. What are they? Leaf, cloud, and wave. Actually, these three images are easily moved by the wind. They have not their own power. He appeals the powerful west wind to share its strength and energy also, so that he can be benefited with physical stamina, mental capability, and the power of knowledge also. तन बल, मनोबल और ज्ञान बल सब बढ़ाना चाहता है. That's why he identifies himself with the wind. He is deeply aware of his closeness in life, so he utters, "Oh, lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud." Here it is noticeable that the poet has put them in order of weight and life. Wave, leaf, and cloud. And this symmetry is according to the scientific truths, and this scientific truth has been converted into poetic truth beautifully. Although Shelley was an atheist, his logic of decreasing weight of images comes very close to the spiritual value nourished by Indian philosophy. Spiritually, a man can get the vicinity of God by decreasing his weight of pride. I am reminded of here a Hindi poet Kabir who also wishes for such lightness. उठा बबूला प्रेम का तिनका उड़ा आकाश और तिनका तिनके से मिला तिनका तिनके पास. He knows that this is something impossible to achieve this state. So he only so he finds that the only chance to make his prayers to the wind. The wish for a new identity with the wind will come true by pain or death, as death leads to rebirth. So he wants to fall upon the thorns of life and bleed. In a way, he reveals the fact that life is full of miseries and bed of thorns. A very similar image we see in the character of Bhishma. You know the name of, I think that everybody has known the name of Bhishma, Pitamaha, to whom life is a couch of arrows. He feels to be chained under heavy weight of realities and responsibilities of life. Rousseau has already declared, man is everywhere bound in chains. In the last stanza, which is very important to understand the essence of the poem, the first line of it, "Make me thy lyre." seems to be influenced with the famous line of the Bible, "Make me thy lyre of love." So it is clear here that Shelley wants to imbibe the image of tree whose leaves are falling. Falling leaves are the symbol of decadence of the life. This consciousness of old age seems in his another poem also, where he utters, "O world of life, O time, on whose last steps I climb." Here, very similar lines I am reminded of where Surdas, a great Hindi poet compares the existence of human beings with trees. What are those lines? "जा दिन मन पंछी उड़ जाइए, ता दिन तेरे तन तरुवर के, सबहि पात झर जाइए." You see, sometimes it becomes very interesting and comprehensive also to compare the examples of one literature with another one. It enriches your knowledge too. Now, in further lines, "The tumult of thy mighty harmonies will take from both a deep autumnal tone, sweet though in sadness." He conveys that though the music of autumn is steeped in sadness, yet it is charming and melodious music like that of the spring. This ideology seems also in Keats' Ode to Autumn, where he says, "Where are the songs of spring? Where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too." That's why Shelley wants to enjoy the life and realize the sweetest music of the essence, even in the essence of sadness. Kalidas, you have heard the name of Kalidas? Kalidas, a great Sanskrit poet, has enjoyed such music in the best manner. He writes, "Shabda yante maduram anileh kich ka puryamana." It means the broken bamboos act as the pipes which produce music while blowing the sweet wind. This paradoxical image of music he has referred to also in the poem "To a Skylark," where he says, "Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thoughts." Very oft quoted lines of that poem. At last, he reveals his desire to bring a revolution and reform in the society. For it, he asks the wind. He takes the assistance of the wind to scatter his words across mankind and to expand and empower his creativity. The poet has used spiritual and biblical references throughout the poem to personify the wind as a god. But here he makes it little more specific. He opines that the thoughts those are in the mind remain cheerless. They get warmth when they come in the contact of others and influence others. He ends it with a message of hope and optimism symbolically. He says, "If winter comes, can spring be far behind?" It's a universal philosophy to comprehend that undesirable things accompany some desirable also, because there is no existence of life without death, and there is no existence of light without darkness, no merriment of a spring season without gravity of autumn. In Sanskrit also, it is referred to as Ratrir Gamishyati Bhavishyati Suprabhatam. And you know, in Hindi, a famous poet, Jaishankar Prasad, also utters these beautiful lines with the same content, with the same matter. "दुख की पिछली रजनी बिच विकसता सुख का नवल प्रभात." Same note of optimism in these three different literature. Hannah, interesting? So I hope this critical analysis will help you in imbibing the real essence of the poem. Thank you.